the West Coast's premier podcast network.
Hi, this is Mama G. I have my PhD in parental household discipline. Whatever you have in your household, I probably raised it, taught it, loved it, spanked it, punished it, and definitely prayed over it.
The West Coast's premier podcast network.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Guess who I have in my studio today? I have Willie Buchanan, Oceanside Sun. I call him. There he does his beauty pageant wave. Anyway, we've been sitting here talking about old times, old Oceanside, because in 1977, I came here, was only 26,000 people.
Wow.
Yes. And it's just amazing to have you sit with me today. I'm so excited. I am so excited.
Well, I've been in Oceanside at least 70 years.
Yes, I understand that you've been raised here and you went to Oceanside High School. In fact, let's go back and let's talk about your parents.
Ooh.
Now, one of your parents was the first African American person to graduate from Oceanside High, and her name is.
It was Ethel May White at the time, and she was the first Black to graduate from Oceanside High School. And it was amazing that she tells us stories now that for her growing up in Oceanside and going to school, that she never had a problem with any type of racial relationships with her classmates.
Really?
So the whole time she was there, and up until her death, they still treated her as an equal.
Yes, I heard about that. It was beautiful. And so you went to Oceanside High, and then you went to Maricosta. And I bet that was small too at the time.
Well, at the time, Maricosta College was a place that I could go and finish an education. I played football.
Right. Yes, I know. I believe me. I
And
know.
then freshmen couldn't play varsity football then, so their junior colleges was a good out for a lot of people going into major colleges because they had a full season. We had 18. No, let me see. We had 11 games, and at Maricosta College we were state runner-ups, uh, and we went up to Northern California and lost in a championship game in 1969. It was or 1968, somewhere around in there. But yeah, we had a great time. We used to call Maricosta College the Rock because it was the only thing out there. So
That's what I heard. Now, now, but after years later, Palomar and Maricosta switched because they don't have football there anymore, right?
well, yeah, due to economics, Maricosta College dropped their football program, which we tried not to let them do that because it caused a lot of people from Oceanside high schools to go out to Palomar to play instead of um, staying at Maricosta College. The college, they thought that the students would still come to Maricosta College and study there and then go out and play football out at Palomar, which they didn't. They just decided to go out and play at Palomar and just
Right.
enroll there. So that kept a lot of people from going to Maricosta College.
Now, your father, he was a brilliant man. I understood and read and heard him preach. Um, he was maintenance at the school at first,
I believe, yeah, pretty much. He
and
was
his name was
Mance Buchanan
right.
Jr.
Okay.
Um, there's a park
Yes, I was going to
in the
get to
city
that.
of Oceanside. It's named after my father. A good legacy for the Buchanan family. But my father was a pastor. He worked in the community civically and just about and a bus driver for the Oceanside School District.
Yes, I
So
know that too because I think he picked up Alfred one time because Alfred had special ed,
mhm.
and I think he picked him up once, just once, just once. I think he did a substitute for a bus driver.
Well, yeah, I mean, he worked for the bus, I mean, for the school district for almost 22 years. So
Right.
he probably took every kid from from 1955 to about 1969 or 70, um, around. So all the kids knew my father.
Now he founded Shiloh Church of God in Christ, correct?
Yes, he did. And I am a PK, a preacher's kid.
Yes.
Yeah, he founded Shiloh Church of God in Christ. We had been members of Friendly Church of God in Christ, the only, well, the only Church of God in Christ church that was in Oceanside, but there was a Baptist and a Methodist church in town. So, but yeah, and then he started his own church. I remember I was a founding member of the church, like all families usually are. I was kind of upset because our church service was in our family room, which was a converted garage, and they took away our family room. And me and my brother and sisters, we got upset.
Now you were the most valuable player in the West and East Shrine game. That was biggie. That was a biggie.
Well, that was the catalyst for me being drafted probably in the first round because I went to San Diego State and a coach named Don Coryell was my coach, and he's really considered the man that discovered the West Coast offense. You hear all kind of stuff about people being the coordinator of the West Coast offense, which was a passing type offense. But Don Coryell was the first one to bring that into existence. And he was a great quarterback, but I mean, a great coach. He there was three of us that went up to East West Shrine game. I ended up getting two interceptions in that one game, which helped me to win the MVP for that particular. Nobody knew who Willie Buchanan was until that game, and it was
Mm.
a national televised football game.
And you were picked. You were number 7 in the first round of. That was exciting.
Yeah, that was a blessing. Back then we didn't walk up on the stage and they gave you this big jersey and said, "You've been drafted by the Green Bay Packers." We watched things come over the ticker tape. You probably wouldn't know what that is either. You were too young. But I got a phone call from Green Bay and they told me, he said, "Willie Buchanan, you've been drafted by the Green Bay Packers. I hope you have a big coat."
Mm.
I
Because it
said,
was cold.
because it was cold back there. I told them,
Mm.
with the money that you're going to pay me, I'm sure that I can afford to buy one.
Hmm. So, was that a lot of pressure of you being the hometown hero in those days,
Well,
coming from
I
Oceanside?
really wasn't a hometown hero because I had a cousin by the name of C.R. Roberts who kind of blazed the trail for athletics here in
Oh.
Oceanside. And he, in the 1950s, was just one phenomenal running back. He ended up going to the University of Southern California
Oh,
on a
Trojan.
football scholarship. He ended up running against Texas in one of the games, rushed for over 200 something yards in one of the game against Texas, and he only played the first half.
My, my, my.
They had to get him out of the game because they were trying to, back in those days in the 50s, and you're going down to Texas to play a football game.
Oh, no.
It
You
was a little
can.
tough,
Yes, it
little,
was.
little tough on.
Now, in 1972, you were the rookie of the year?
Well, yes, I like I said, I had a good year. I was well coached. Coming up in Oceanside, I never had a bad coach, and I played football, baseball, basketball, ran track. I did everything, but the coaching system and the athletic and recreation department that was here in Oceanside, I said the coaches were just here to help you, and
Right.
if you wanted to learn,
Mm-hmm.
you could get better, and we did. And then we had a group of athletes that came out of here. But like I said, C.R. Roberts set the stage for athletics here in Oceanside for blacks.
Oh, that was good. Now, I need to know, once you went to the Chargers, how long did you stay?
Well, I played 4 years for the San Diego Chargers, and I kind of told myself when the game ceased to be fun, when I wasn't enjoying it
It's
anymore,
time to
it was
go.
time to quit. And I went to school. I had a degree from San Diego State in education, so I taught school during the off season. Back then we didn't make the money that they make now.
Right. So where did you teach school at?
Well, I worked in Oceanside, Lemon Grove, and San Diego school districts.
Oh,
And matter of fact, I taught in every school that I attended, from elementary school
shut up.
to college. Yes,
No.
I did. And I still coach. I coach now at Oceanside High School. I coach track, and I've been up there for almost 25 years.
So something should be named after you at that school then,
Oh,
huh?
I don't need any of those accolades. I'm just here to help the kids.
And now I understand there is a library named after your father at MLK.
Yes, and that was they almost named the actual school after my father. And when they decided that it was going to be Martin Luther King, they dedicated the library to my father. So there's a big picture up in the wall for him. And matter of fact, my son um, was one of members of the first graduating class from MLK. So I had to send him to school over there so he could graduate from a school that his grandfather had the library named after.
And that must have been exciting for him to go to that school and
Well,
see his
well, it was,
grandfather's
it was,
name.
and then we actually did a father and son tag team on the Black History Year last year, where we went to Martin Luther King and spoke. My son right now is a fireman here in Oceanside.
I understand that. And he's the only African American fireman?
I think there's one other, but yeah, actively, yes.
Well, I have to have him on the show because he's another Black History moment here.
Yeah, he's doing well. I'm very proud of him and my daughter. So
Yeah, and I understand you have 8 grandchildren
I
now.
do. I am blessed with 8 grandkids and enjoying them to life.
Now, so after football, you taught, I mean, you're teaching, and you also do real estate, I understand.
Well, yeah, I decided that while I was in teaching school, I had never really taken a class over. I was always a long term sub during the off season, things like that. So I took a class out in Lemon Grove School District, where one of the teachers here at Oceanside, Mrs. Davenport, ended up being the principal down in Lemon Grove. So she asked me to come down and teach at Lemon Grove's middle school. So I
Hmm.
went down there and taught for a while, and after 3 years, I said, "Oh, you know what? I don't think this is the thing that I really, really, really want to do." So my parents had always invested in real estate. So I decided to get a broker's license and kind of handle their property and stuff like that. So I got into real estate in the mid 80s.
I also found out that you're a caroler. You sing Christmas songs at different events in Oceanside.
Well, I've been managing a caroling group called Westminster Carolers for almost 25, almost 30 years. And yes, I love to sing. And I got my musical background from here in Oceanside. I was in a band called the Road Runners, the soul of the road. And we had fun. We were a great band, rhythm and blues. And we had fun. We had fun playing. We were all athletes. So we had to disperse at one time because we were trying to decide whether to sign a recording contract
Ooh.
or go off to college. So, um, needless to say, I went off to college, and about 3 other folks in the band. 2 of them ended up going to USC on the scholarships, football and track and different things. So,
Now, because you're in real estate, has it hurt you because of the COVID-19?
no, not at all. I mean,
Oh,
people are still buying property.
really?
Oh yes, yes. It's a time, because of the economics of today. If you can afford to buy, not, everybody, a lot of people are moving out of California because, prices of real estate are pretty strong and pretty high. But I keep telling folks, like my friends down in Texas, I said, I mean, we pay to live here.
Yeah, we do. Yes, we do.
I've been
We
blessed
do.
to be, I mean, I'll take a trembler every now and then, but I love California, love Oceanside, love San Diego, and it'd be hard to leave.
Now I understand you have a record of having the most interceptions in a football game.
Yeah, I came out to play when I was playing for the Green Bay Packers to play the San Diego Chargers, and I haven't really been back to San Diego in 7 years. So I got together with my defense, and I told them we're going to go out to San Diego, my hometown, and we're going to represent. I said we're going to, and then plus I was playing my option out, which meant that I was trying to let the league know that Willie Buchanan could still play football because I was back in Green Bay and nobody had really seen me when I left California. So
Mm.
I wanted to know that Willie Buchanan was still playing football, and I put myself out there. So I ended up getting 4 interceptions in that one game. You know, two off Dan Fouts and two off James Harris.
No.
Yep, and I like to say I'm responsible for getting Tommy Prothro fired and Don Coryell hired because they
Mm.
fired Tommy Prothro the next day and they hired Don Coryell. And when Don Coryell signed the contract, I said, I'm going to start trying to petition myself to get back to San Diego and get back with my old college coach and come back and play in my old city of San Diego.
So in 1982, you said, goodbye, let's have another life now.
Yeah, you know, I told myself, like I said, when the game ceased to be fun, I was gonna retire. And I actually had another year on my contract. I could have sat out and played, and decided to, ride the bench, but it wasn't fun anymore. And I was teaching school, and at the same time, like I said, I knew that it was something else I could do.
Mm.
And I said, I had a mentor in Green Bay. His name was MacArthur Lane, and he told me that I have to have a balanced life, because there has to be life after football. So prepare for it. So I did.
So, so you're one of the exceptions to the rule because you hear so many horror stories after people leave the limelight of the sports arena, but you're one that went through it smoothly.
Well, not smoothly. I've had my ups and downs, just like everybody else. Kind of readjusting into to the real world, as they
Right.
say, because we were spoiled. We were, let's say, put up on a pedestal. And I wanted to come down off that pedestal and be real with
Okay.
myself, with my family, and with everybody. Let them know that we just we put our our pants on one leg at a time, just like everybody else.
Yes, you do. Um, now, so in the community, you do help with organizations in the community now too.
Well, I started a youth foundation. And actually, we started a foundation at Miracosta College because we were trying. They were going to lose a baseball coach, so we started a foundation to raise money for a baseball coach at Miracosta College back in the 80s, mid 80s, maybe
Hmm.
90s, and we ran that for about 10 years or so. And then when new regime came into Miracosta College, and they were said, but we raised the money for the coach. We got the coach, we got him in a position, so we kept raising money for the athletic department. But the athletic department was doing well, so we started giving the money to local high schools, the
Oh,
local high schools around the city for the athletic department.
okay.
And when the new regime came into Miracosta College, told them we couldn't give the money away to any high schools anymore because it was an enticement for recruiting. So we severed that committee, and I started the Buchanan Youth Foundation. And through that foundation, we started giving money to where it was needed, and sports, and then mid sports, and anything other than football, baseball, and basketball, women's sports, and all the underfunded sports in high school, and that's what we do.
Now, the most exciting thing is the Mance Buchanan Park. Now, we need to know how did that come about? I know you had something to do with
I
it.
had nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. It was some civic folks in Oceanside because they wanted to name something after my father, after Martin Luther King. Uh, the um,
And the
the
school
middle
didn't.
school
Right.
didn't do that, so the city actually did the park. And I mean, it's a beautiful, I like to say it's 28 acres because of my football name,
Right.
but it's probably a little larger than that. But I like to go down there. You know, my family comes down, and every time my daughter bring her kids up there, they always stop by the park, you know, take pictures and stuff like that because it's a nice legacy that was
It
left for the
really is.
Buchanan
It's a
family.
beautiful park.
And then I
And
like to see all the sports and involvement out
right.
there too. So
In fact, they had the young lady who did the Lion King
mhm.
movie. She came and did the national anthem for the park.
Yes, she did. And ever since then, no, actually, before then, I never called you by your real name because to me, you were Laura's mom. So I would always address you as "Hi, Laura's mom." But I was thankful and grateful for what she did, and she was a talent. Well, she still is a talent. She's had
Yes.
a rich life.
Yes, she's up in Fontana, California now with three children. One is 18. The little girl, she's 7. So she stopped touring, and she said, well, and then COVID came, so she says, I guess I'll never go anywhere for the rest of my life.
Well, you know, we're blessed to have talented kids. Amen.
Yes, we are.
Amen.
Yes, we are. But I want to tell you that we have Willie Buchanan is going to do something special. He's going to do the birthday shout out.
Oh, I get to do birthday shout outs?
Yes, you do. Willie Buchanan is going to do the birthday shout out. Are we ready? Let's go. Go ahead, Mr. Buchanan.
And I hope I don't butcher any of these names, but Linda Maynard, Tamika Whipple, Pam Ellsbury, Luke Witt, Lamar Mitchell, Javina Rhodey, Austin Lagaraga, Lizaraga. And if this is Pete's son, happy birthday, Austin. Mary Smith, Diane Dandridge, and Christine Forney.
Thank you. So everybody got their birthday shout outs by a wonderful person, Willie Buchanan.
But I want you to know if it's anything like my birthday, I celebrated for the whole year. No, I'm going to say a month, okay? So we can do that. So you can celebrate your birthday for a month this year.
So everybody, you got your birthday wish from a perfect gentleman today. So I hope you have a wonderful birthday because God has allowed you to have another year. And we want to thank Mr. Buchanan for coming by and giving us a little history about Oceanside. And soon, one day, soon he's going to be back and tell us some more. But I know he has to go because he's a busy man, but he took time, a little bit time to say hi to me. So thank you so much, Mr. Buchanan.
And thank you, Laura's mom.
Okay, thank you, sir. Well, you have a wonderful rest of the evening. Please come back again when you have something fantastic to tell us, to share with us. It's so nice for you to come by.
Anytime.
Thank
Anytime.
you. So now we'll go to break and I'll do my Black History moment and some other things I'm going to tell you this evening. Okay? Talk to you soon. Bye.
World Tune Radio, where the world tunes in. The West Coast's premier podcast network.
Hi, this is Mama G. I have my PhD in parental household discipline. Whatever you have in your household, I probably raised it, taught it, loved it, spanked it, punished it, and definitely prayed over it.
The West Coast's premier podcast network.
Instincts going no, looking bad like a bat with an eye patch. All black through the woods with a backpack and a lit match. Spark one time, get the whole city looking like a dark shade of orange when I burn it down. What it is, what it do, hope. And everybody looking at me while I got them all in my sights. Picking them off, taking them out, looking like daylight in the night. And I'm killing so many if they really wanna get involved. And everybody fall off in the elevator, now I'm bright rice in this. It's like I'm rice and take a bite, it's nice. And I have a nice time with it. By the time that it finds the way to the right side of him, not even a Heimlich can save him. A selective finger to you imbeciles. Tell me what's been getting into you, envy will kill you. She said I'm a gentleman, I admit a lot of women set up on my ottoman. I don't give a damn like a auto with no time to kill. I'm a feeling like the opposite of work, it's a work and it never been a purpose thing to me. I just do what I love and it works for me. So I'm freaking every check and put the money in the pushing. But it begun to the finish and the getting of it. But everybody know I'm working in the sea, I do it differently. So only time will give me everything that I deserve, my end.
Hi, I'm Ryan. This is my car. Do you like it? Great. We'll get to that. Trust the process. You see, I've been going back and forth with myself, and I decided it's for sale! Sale! No, it is not! Yes, it is. See what I mean? I don't need it, but I want it. You're probably wondering what's wrong with it. I don't know. It cost me a lot to get it running, so hopefully nothing. All I'm asking is a cool 5K. I allow myself to tell you the details.
I just want to live forever. I just want my shit together. I just want my after show. I just want to eat whatever. I just want to hit the road. I just want the perfect weather.
And look at this finish. All original. Nothing says I love the US of A like lead paint, baby.
Hi, this is Mama G. I have my PhD in parental household discipline. Whatever you have in your household, I probably raised it, taught it, loved it, spanked it, punished it, and definitely prayed over it.
The West Coast's premier podcast network.
Instincts going low, looking bad like a bat with an eye patch. All black through the woods with a backpack and a lit match. Spark one time, get the whole city looking like a dark shade of orange when I burn it down. What it is, what it do, hope. And everybody looking at me while I got them all in my sights. Picking them off, taking them out, looking like daylight in the night. And I'm killing so many if they really wanna get involved. And everybody fall off in the elevator, now I'm bright rice in this. It's like I'm rice and take a bite, it's nice. And I have a nice time with it. By the time that it finds the way to the right side of him, not even a Heimlich can save him. A selective finger to you imbeciles. Tell me what's been getting into you, envy will kill you. She said I'm a gentleman, I admit a lot of women set up on my ottoman. I don't give a damn like a auto with no time to kill. I'm a feeling like the opposite of work, it's a work and it never been a purpose thing to me. I just do what I love and it works for me. So I'm freaking every check and put the money in the pushing. But it begun to the finish and the getting of it. But everybody know I'm working in the sea, I do it differently. So only time will give me everything that I deserve, my end.
I'm Ryan. This is my car. Do you like it? Great. We'll get to that. Trust the process. You see, I've been going back and forth with myself, and I decided it's for sale! Sale! No, it is not! Yes, it is. See what I mean? I don't need it, but I want it. You're probably wondering what's wrong with it. I don't know. It cost me a lot to get it running, so hopefully nothing. All I'm asking is a cool 5K. Allow myself to tell you the details.
I just want to live forever. I just want my shit together. I just want my after show. I just want to eat whatever. I just want to hit the road. I just want the perfect weather.
And look at this finish. All original. Nothing says I love the US of A like lead paint, baby.
Hi, this is Mama G. I have my PhD in parental household discipline. Whatever you have in your household, I probably raised it, taught it, loved it, spanked it, punished it, and definitely prayed over it.
The West Coast's premier podcast network.
Hi, I'm back. We had Willie Buchanan on earlier, and he was marvelous. He came out of his busy schedule to say hello to us, and that was just wonderful for him to do. And I just thank God that we were able to get him into the studio. It was wonderful to hear the history about his parents, about what he's doing, the records he had done being a football player. And he said that it's a rough road trying to go back into normal life, but he did it and he's very successful. He's done real estate, he even taught school. So that was an amazing interview. So now, I need to do my mother thing to this evening. Black history is something we just have to investigate 24/7. Did you know today I found out when Columbus came over to the United States on the boats that he had, there were two African American captains on the boat. And one, his name was Pedro Alonso, who was the captain of the Nina, and the second was Juan Nino of the San Maria, I believe it was. And these were African American free men who came on the boat with Columbus, who discovered America. These men were not slaves, they were free men who were captains of ships. See, so society has brainwashed us thinking that we were beneath the earth or we were less than an animal, we were less than property, an animal. But we are intelligent people. We are. And I believe society is just jealous because we are intelligent people. We are. And it's wonderful to find out that information. In fact, the young lady that told me that information, I'm going to have her on my show soon when I can get a chance to schedule her in because she is like a book of Black history. She was so intelligent about how she talked about these Black captains of these ships that Columbus had when he came over to discover America. They were free, they were not slaves, they controlled the vessels. And so you never know what you're going to learn every day. So you have to be aware. Listen to people, listen how they talk. And this month is Black History Month, and I have on my Black History dress with my pearls. I must tell you, I love pearls, so I put on my pearls. But we're honoring our ancestors with this outfit on today. We have to remember where we come from. We cannot diss those people because someone has died, someone has marched, someone has been kicked or hung for you to do whatever you need to do today. And it's still hard. It's still hard because people are jealous. They don't want you to succeed because of their insecurity, because they can't succeed. So they try to destroy you, but don't let them destroy you. Please, parents, remember the basic instructions before leaving earth that God loves your children and He wants them to be successful. In those basic instructions, there's a scripture that says, I am wonderfully and beautifully made by Him. Find it, it's in Psalms. Say that over your children. Tell them that. Tell them that God took time to make you. He didn't he didn't waste any time. He took time to make you. He wants you to succeed. That's what you need to tell your children all the time and pray over your children. You have to, especially with their studies. Because I sometimes those math studies that my children brought home, I was praying because I knew I couldn't help them. So I would make sure that they had a neat, quiet place to study. And I go in the next room and I be praying to the Lord to ask the Lord to help them do what they're supposed to do. It's no shame. If you don't know what it is, you ask the Lord to help them with it. No shame in my game. I did that all the time. When I didn't know anything, I said, Lord, please help them. I've tried, but I pray that they go. And see, that's why it's important for you to teach them to be quiet and be attentive in class. You have to. That's important. But my children they do respect me because they know I put them before God and God allowed them to be on this earth. So they saw me sacrifice a lot of things for them to be successful. So you have to have that respect with your children. As they get older, you have conversations about your life. So they won't do the same pitfalls or mistakes you did. You have to do that. It's important that you do that. It's important that we give our children good foundation to have because we have to. It's important that we do because the foundation starts at home, not in the school. The foundation of how you want your child to be raised in society starts at home with prayer and communication with the one above. You have to do that, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm still trying to work on having a class for young mothers. I see on the TV pregnant and 16 that hurts me so bad that they're bringing another life in the world and they have no idea how important that is. You have to realize that you're bringing another generation into the world that's going to grow up to be an adult. And you want that adult to be prosperous. You want that adult to have respect for others. You want that adult to have God in their lives. So you need to have God in your life. You need to read his basic instructions before leaving earth, particularly Proverbs, because Proverbs is the common sense book, I would say. And it gives you those proverbs you need to know of how to talk to people, how to respect people. Don't go around people who are no good for you. Trust those who love you. Get away from those evil people. It teaches you how to be fair. And I use that in raising my children. And it helped. It helped really a lot. So please, parents, put God first in your life. I'm not telling you to go to somebody's church, but have a relationship with him. And then he will guide you to the right church to go to get more encouragement. But you got to have a relationship with him. That's the only way you can be a good parent. Now, there's some things I didn't do right. I I'm gonna be honest. There's some mistakes I made being a parent. I wasn't the perfect parent, but with God's help, I helped raise good children. So, sometimes I got angry and I get frustrated, but I always ask, I always would go back and say, "Okay, God, I need your help," and He helped me. He helped me with a lot of things in raising my children. Remember, everybody was different. My first one was very famous. And so we were driving to Hollywood every day for 18 years of her life. We were driving back and forth to Hollywood every day for auditions, for commercials, sitcoms. So we had a suitcase in our trunk, but we were driving, and I always would say a prayer as I would drive, and I would talk to the Lord as I was driving. And she would look at me like I was crazy and go, "Are you really talking out loud?" And I'm like, "Yes." Because no other parent in their right mind would do this every day, but I will because you've been blessed to do this. And then my second one, Alfred, he had seizures when he was a toddler. So I had to go into the special education arena and learn how to be a parent to him and make sure that he got everything that he was supposed to get. Because sometimes those officials did not want to give Alfred what he was supposed to get. Number one, he was handicapped. Number two, he was black. And there is discrimination with special needs. And then Roy Jr. was my third one. He had a stuttering problem, and I had to tell him that God gave you this special gift of speaking. And one day you're going to be a wonderful speaker. But I had to learn how to help him get over his stuttering problem because statistics said if you had a stuttering problem, you had a self esteem problem. But I told my son, God made you here and you have a purpose. So when he went to school, he knew he was smart and God was his friend. And I remember one time the teacher wouldn't wait on Roy because Roy took a long time to explain the answer. So he came home upset and said the teacher would not let me give the answer. So I had to go up to the school and I said, "Excuse me, my son goes to this school. Yes, he has a stuttering problem, but he's smart and you need to wait on him. He's an equal student in this class, and you need, when he raises his hand, let him have a chance to give the answer." I also told her, I said, my property taxes pays, make sure that you have a paycheck. So I'm paying you to teach my son. And if you're not doing it right, you don't need to have a job. I was that angry. So, and after a while, Rory Jr. received an award for outstanding answers in the class. Also, because of his exercises we had to do for stuttering, he entered the spelling bee. And he was the top three students from his school and went to the district spelling bee. Un- Unfortunately, he misspelled lollipop. If he would have spelled lollipop correctly, he would have went to the state championship. But see, those are the things you have to do with your children. And then by the time he was 16, he had declared that God wanted him to be a preacher. And so at school, he was the brotherhood president of the local church in Oceanside. And then in school, when he went to Army and Navy Academy, they approved him to be the chaplain of the school in the 10th grade. That's usually assigned for a senior cadet. But Roy received that position at the 10th grade. And then once he graduated from Army Navy Academy in Carlsbad, he went to Westmont and got a degree in pastoral leadership and theology and became a youth pastor. And then God took him to heaven. And then God brought me another son, Eddie, my nephew. He came to me at 16 with the educational challenge. He only had 10 credits. So I said, okay, Lord, this is a complete challenge for me. Where do I start? And he said, like you did your other children, you read verses to them, you can read verses to him. So that's what we did. We read a proverb verse every day because he was like an inclusive person. He didn't speak. He was an introvert. He didn't speak much. He'd come down for dinner, wash his hands, be very polite, but you couldn't get anything else out of him. I know it was a culture shock from East St. Louis, but we didn't know what to do. So I went and prayed and I started reading Proverbs to him. I would read Proverbs to him, as they say in the basic instructions before leaving earth. Read the word to him day and night. So in the morning, we would read a proverb and I would ask him, what does that mean to you on the way to school at breakfast time? So his mind could have some wisdom in there because it was frightening for him. Soon he was like a butterfly. And then he just flung out. Now, excuse me, I think it's a caterpillar, then a butterfly. Well, he was a caterpillar. You couldn't speak to him, couldn't do much. But once we started reading Proverbs and we started getting wisdom, he started talking. He started reading more. He started answering questions when the teacher would ask him. He started to volunteer. He used to volunteer at the blood drive at the high school he was at. He volunteered in anything that they needed. In fact, he did a botillion. That's like a cotillion, but it's for boys and girls, where they dress up, learn how to waltz, learn how to go for a job interview, teaching them that you're going into society. They're presenting you in society. And he had his white tuxedo on. He was handsome and he did a monologue of Joseph, the coat of many colors. It was beautiful. By then, he had got common sense from the basic instructions before leaving Earth. And when he graduated with a 3 point grade point average and an opportunity to play football. But because he did the Botillion, and I told him, I said, if you do the Botillion, I promise you, God will bless you tremendously. So I found out there was an opening for clerks at Albertsons before he graduated from high school. And he applied and he got the job. So when he graduated, he said, well, I can go to college and play football and get hurt and be upset. He said, but I can still go to college, read a little bit, and still work at Albertsons. So that's what he did. He went to college for a little while longer, and he's been a grocery clerk at Albertson now for 7 years. But that's all because I put God in their lives. So, ladies and gentlemen, use God as your guidance to be a good parent. That's what I could tell you. And I know it works. I know it works. But you just have to take time with your children too. Teach them about leadership. Teach them about being respectful to elders. And quit saying, yo, what's up to an elder. When you see an elder, say, yes, ma'am. How are you doing, sir? Not this, yo, what's up? What can I do for you? The sales young people now are horrible. They don't even say, may I help you? What can I do for you? No, it's, hello, sir. How can I help you? Yo, what's up? No, that's not proper communication. So, parents, let's teach our children proper education, proper communication. That's an important thing to do. Society is not going to change. There's still the old rules: respect, respect, respect. You have to do that. You just have to do that. Well, it's almost time to go, but I want to let you know that look on the internet for the Black History activities. I think this Wednesday there's poetry sponsored by the North County African American Women Association. And then there's going to be a Black Lives Festival film challenge. Thank you, my producers. They have put that up on the screen for me. It is www.filmfreeway.com Black Lives Matter Film Challenge. Please submit a film of their challenge of being African American in the community. It's going to be exciting to see. It's again, the website is www.filmfreeway.com Black Lives Matter Film Festival. You have to put that slash after freewayfilm.com slash Black Lives Matter Film Challenge. Please submit it. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can submit anything that concerns you with the culture of being Black. I know I would love to submit something. And it's going to be interesting to learn the different trials and tribulations of being Black in America. A lot of people don't know what we go through, and we're going to be able to showcase that. So try it. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. Hit that video button on the phone, and you got it done. No more than 3 to 5 minutes long, and you got it done. And so I want everybody to remember It's okay to be who you are. God wants you to be what He made you to be smart and beautiful, to be respected, to give respect. Because you never know, it'll come back to you. It has to come back to you. If you give what you're supposed to give out, it comes back to you tenfold. Trust me, been there, know that. And guess what? Our sponsors are on the screen. It's custom embroidery. My hair is done by Douglas. And then Nana Susanna Original Gourmet Sauce and Mr. Cunningham. So I want everybody to remember that we have one life. And another thing we're going to talk about next time we see each other is getting the vaccine. We must, if you're 65 and over or have an underlying condition, please see your doctor and talk about getting the vaccine. I got my first one and I'm still alive and breathing. So I'm trying to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, get your vaccine. It was patented by a young lady from North Carolina, Dr. Colbert. She's African American. She came from our community. She's smart. God gave her a brain to do this. So let's trust her and get the vaccine. And please pray before you go and talk to your doctor. We have to. But I'm going to say good night and remember who you are and let God be your guide. Have a good night. Bye bye.
Till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. America, America, God shed His grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shine.
World Tune Radio, where the world tunes in. The West Coast's premier podcast network.